Hi everyone, welcome to my first YouTube recipe. I am going to show you how to make my favorite two-in-one recipe for Mighty Caesar dressing slash mayo. For me, it compares to Renee's Mighty Caesar dressing, which is one of my favorite dressings. This dressing is dairy-free because I've got food allergy. It won't include mustard because I know I'm allergic to that too, unfortunately. So anyway, here's a rundown of the ingredients that you will need. First off, you need 3 egg yolks. I've already put it in the food processor. It's very important that they be room temperature eggs. I've got 2 cups of a light olive oil. I've got fish sauce. This is anchovy based. If you cannot find a fish sauce, I got this at a Korean market. Try anchovy paste. I'm not sure of the quantity, but I would say at least a teaspoon or so. I've got garlic. This is garlic that I froze in ice cube tray. I've got also a teaspoon of Italian herbs, a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. You could also use sea salt. I've got about 2 to 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, plus an empty jarred container here. This is almost two cup container. Anyway, let's get started. Now, if I'm going to stress one point, and that is to pour the oil in the egg yolk mixture very slowly. That's very imperative. Now, I've never made it in my food processor. Not this big one. I usually do it in my 4-cup food processor. So we'll see how this goes. Now I've used half a cup so far. I'm going to check the consistency just to show you what to expect. Yeah. This is what you want to see as far as the consistency goes. It's going to get firmer than this as well. I've had it really firm up. The reason why I like this so much is that you mix the mayo as a salad dressing. And so you'll always have your mayo, and then you make your salad dressing as you need it. And the mayo is great in sandwiches. It's already seasoned perfectly, so you don't have to add any other seasoning to it. Same with the salad. Even because the flavor is so robust, you won't have to add, you may just have to salt the salad a little bit before you add the dressing, but other than that, it makes a great dressing with a lot of flavor. I'm hoping I'm able to add all 2 cups here. That way I get more out of this. And I'm going to show you the disaster that was that I created, because at 1.5 cups the dressing, the mayo turned out perfectly, and I thought I'd push the envelope a little bit, added the other half cup, the extra half cup, and I ended up ruining the dressing. So I'm going to show you in another clip what that looks like. Okay, I'm almost at that half cup mark. So I've got half a cup left. I'm going to check the consistency again. Oh yeah, oh my goodness. This is how thick it is. See, it won't even come off the spoon. And I've got half a cup of oil left. I'm going to add the rest of the oil. Oh shit. Okay, I had a mini disaster. I put a little bit too much oil. I went past the 1.5 cup mark, and the mixture started to turn into a goopy mess. And I thought, okay, how am I going to save this? And guess what? I added another egg yolk. That's why I've got 2 eggs, because I was going to start the recipe all over again. I added a 4th egg yolk, and I got my mayonnaise back. Thank God. I could probably add the rest of the oil, but I'm not going to push it. So there we go. So now I am ready to add the rest of the ingredients, and it's just a simple matter of adding everything one at a time. I'm going to add the salt and my spices in first and just pulse that. Then I'm going to add the garlic and lemon juice, a little bit at a time here. And as for the fish sauce, I'm going to add a tablespoon or 2. There's 1. Now I don't have any pepper, but I added the pepper in the ingredient list. I'm going to add another tablespoon here. I'm gonna scoop this out so you can see the final. It still has a mayo consistency, which is perfect. You can thin this out with yogurt, plain yogurt, sour cream, milk, coconut milk, to make a great salad dressing. Let me taste it. It's perfect. Just salted, very robust, enough garlic. And I'm going to put this in the jar, let it sit in the refrigerator so the flavors can meld overnight. Here's the final product. Look how nice and thick that is. This will firm up even more once it's refrigerated. Anyway, and the final measurement, I would say this is about 2 cups. So this is what happened to my last batch. See, it turned into a salad dressing consistency, which I did not want. All is not lost. I mean, this dressing still tastes great, but as you can see, it's not a mayo anymore. It's more of a dressing. And even then, there's a little bit of oil separation too. So this is, you'd probably have to shake the bottle really well before you add this to your salad. When you think it's at the right consistency and you have at least a cup and a half of oil in there, stop and then add your Caesar ingredients. Anyway, I wanted to show you this just so you could see what happens when something goes wrong. It's the day after, and I thought I'd show you what the dressing is like after it's been refrigerated for it's almost been about 24 hours. See how thick it is? You can even hear the creaminess when you're picking it up with a spoon. I want to make a couple of points, so be patient as far as mixing it, the egg yolk with the oil. It shouldn't take you less than 5 minutes. So we're talking a good whole 5 minutes of dispensing that oil in the food processor in order to get the right consistency. If you followed the recipe the way that I did it in the video, this mayo will be salty. Please keep in mind that you won't need to add any other seasoning once you add it to a sandwich or you make your dressing. And because if you use it to make a dressing, once you dilute it, the taste will be perfect. the seasoning. If you're sensitive to the taste of salt, cut it in half according to the recipe. If you're not sensitive to salt, go for the gusto. I added one teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt to 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. But as a salad dressing, once it's diluted, it's still full of flavor and it is less salt. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. And let me know if you've tried the recipe. If you have any questions, also comment below. I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and bon appétit!